Hi, I'm Dave Cohn. Welcome to our video series for Professional GBS. This is the third of 4 modules on operations. In this session, we will cover Part 1 of continuous improvement and share techniques to standardize and reduce defects. We've done our planning by defining our objectives, measures, and documented our processes. Next, we've focused on operational control by adopting good daily management practices and ensuring the best approaches are in place for incident and problem management. In the next 2 sessions, we will look at continuous improvement techniques that can enable us to improve quality, increase speed, and reduce cost. This is a great cycle to follow to professionalize your operations management. And remember, it is a cycle that periodically needs to be renewed as business priorities evolve. Peter Drucker, who's often referred to as the founder of modern management, commented, "There is nothing so useless as doing efficiently that which should not be done at all." Ask yourself, what are all the activities that you are doing that don't need to be done at all? How can you eliminate those? Let's take a moment to think about the 2 types of time in any process: those that add value in the eyes of the customer, and the non-value added time, where you may have rework, delays, bottlenecks, and unnecessary complexity. What's your guess of the percent of cycle time during a process that is adding value? 75%? 50%? 25%? Well, most value stream mapping exercises find that actually less than 5% of activities add value in the eyes of the customer. Now, many of these activities you can't get rid of, like emails and meetings and customer updates, but they don't add value to the final output. But you can drive out defects, variance, time waiting, and so on. We will talk more about this in the next 2 sessions. Here's a list of all the methods we will be highlighting over the next 2 sessions. It's an awesome collection of best practices that you should think about when reducing non-value added time. We've separated these techniques into 4 areas: standardize or harmonize to reduce variance, Six Sigma to reduce defects and variability, simplify to reduce complexity, and ways to speed up by removing bottlenecks and time waiting. Although unstructured brainstorming is popular, it's really better to follow a process to find your opportunities for improvement. Project identification workshops are a great approach. Of course, often the hardest part is just getting people to attend. You will benefit from a senior level sponsor to drive participation. You want to make sure that you have the practitioners that are doing the work, subject matter experts who understand the process, and a facilitator to ask the hard questions. A good practice is to repeat the approach annually. That's what the best shared services do. Here are the steps to follow for project identification workshops. We will share a short overview here, but it's worth researching this area more before you get started. A dedicated workshop will usually take 2 to 3 days, but prior to the workshop, you will need at least 2 to 3 weeks, and maybe more for complex processes, to collect data necessary to have a quality discussion. This would be information on the current process and all the details on what's happening within each step. Here's a further look at the data you will need for each step in your process. Average time taken, percent right the first time, amount of inventory within each step. Is it adding value? If not, is it required? How complex is the step? and number of variants or different ways to do the step. Next, you will build a value stream map to document all the details you've collected. Value stream mapping is a powerful technique that's worth learning more about. Now it's time to analyze each step in your process. What's causing delays? Where are there multiple ways to do something? What has lots of defects? What's complex? What steps have work piling up in front? The final step is to identify and prioritize the opportunities that you've found based on how feasible it is to do and what benefit you expect to achieve. These would become your improvement projects to focus on. Our journey continues as we work to reduce non-value-added time. We've looked closely at our process and identified opportunities. Now we will look further at techniques starting with standardize. Standardization is a great approach to reduce the different variants for a process. We may also want to call this harmonization, as it sounds a little better to some. Often the challenge here is cultural. You'll hear comments like, "This is the way we've always done it," or "Our needs are special. We can't do it like them." As we look at standardization, it's not always about business process. Think about other areas that could help you reduce variation, such as how you are organized, your number of locations, your technology, and so on. There are so many benefits of standardization or harmonization: less errors, reduced cost, more predictability, and many more. Without harmonizing your processes, it's impossible to drive process excellence, as it makes it so difficult to innovate and automate. Next, we will touch on Six Sigma, an area covered in a previous session. This is about reducing your defects and variability. As a review, this includes using a fishbone diagram to list your common causes of your incidents, applying Pareto analysis to decide what causes to focus on, and applying the 5 Why analysis to find the root causes. Remember that it's key to have an incident log where you can maintain a record of your incidents, as that creates a foundation for doing your analysis. We hope you enjoyed this session in our Professional GBS series. All the best as you professionalize, modernize, and transform.